Okay, so now that we have the headset set up, we're going to have your patient go into the new patient profile and have them fill out all the necessary fields. So once they've done that, you'll go ahead and click on Save. This will generate a patient profile for them. It's going to ask you if you want to add a consent form. We do want to add a consent form, so you'll have them click Yes. Go ahead and click OK. And then have them read through this. This is going to say, hey, that we would like to use their data for research. If they're okay with that, you'll have them scroll down, click in the signature of patient box, and sign with their finger on the screen. Okay, so go ahead and click OK. We're going to exit the form. And now we're ready to go. So what we'll do now is we'll go into new session. And this is going to be patient dependent, but for now we're just going to do a WAVi Wellness Basic. This will be a baseline because it's her first scan. Okay, so the first thing you'll have them do is you'll have them run through the WAVi Wellness Intake form. This is just going to say, hey, we want to get some basic information about you. Obviously this will be patient specific as well. So we're going to have her go through this, fill this out, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to go into headset contact and make sure that all the electrode sites are sitting flush with her scalp. And that will ensure that we're going to get a good scan, and then we'll take a look at the signal before we run the scan. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to check both the ear sites and the ground. Once we have good connection on those sites, we'll circle through the rest of the locations. We've got some sites that are yellow, some sites that are red. So yellow is acceptable, red means we need work. So what we're going to do is if you tap on the site on the screen, it'll focus on that site specifically. And then what we'll do is you'll come to the headset and you'll push the e-socks in. And that's going to ensure that we get good scalp contact. And once we've got all these e-socks pushed in, we'll circle back through on the screen and see if we can get some of these to turn yellow or green. So a couple things we encourage you to do if you're having some trouble with the sites is to take some of the Paul Mitchell that we've provided you, and you can apply just a little bit underneath the site, and this should help kind of clear up some of the noise and give us just a little bit cleaner connection. Another thing you can do with the blunt needle that we provide you is you can use it to help get some of the hair out of the way. And just be careful not to poke their scalp, but it's pretty useful in getting some of the hair out of the way and help cleaning up some of the connection. Another thing that we encourage you to do is to apply some of the Paul Mitchell cream to the ground location. The ground location and the two ear sites are the most important. That's what's going to really ensure that we get a good, clean connection. Another thing you can do is you can kind of move the band out of the way and turn e-sock a little bit. This will help exfoliate the scalp. This will also help improve the connection and ensure that we get a good signal. Okay, so now that we've got everything looking pretty good, we're going to move into the Signal tab. This is going to give us our first look at some live brain waves, and this will allow you to review and make sure that you've actually got good contact. So what you're looking for is you want to see even spacing between the lines. We're seeing that right now. This looks really great. One thing you can do is you can have your patient clench their jaw, so go ahead and clench your jaw. And you can see that messes up and kind of makes it really messy. And we don't want that. That creates a lot of noise. The less noise, the better. Go ahead and blink your eyes a couple times. So you can see that the software will respond to that very well. So these are things we don't want you to do when you're doing the scan. You're going to have your eyes closed, so go ahead and close your eyes. And you're going to be as still as you can be. Try to relax and release all the tension in your body. This looks really good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move into the Instant Review feature. And what this is going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to record a small clip and allow you to review it and make sure that everything looks good before we move into the actual test. So once the Instant Review is over, it's going to automatically play it back to you. And what you're looking for is you're looking for the majority of the waves to be black. Sometimes they can be blue. Blue's okay. Red is bad. That means it's artifacting. It's really messy. And we would encourage you to go back through maybe work on some of the ESOC sites and try to clean it up. This looks really great. So now that we know we've got good headset contact and everything looks good, we're now ready to move into the test. So we'll go ahead and move to P300. Okay, so now we've moved into the P300 eyes closed protocol. Now your patient is going to be hearing a series of beeps. There are 2 beeps. You're going to hear a low pitch beep and you're going to hear a high pitch beep. And what they're going to do is they're going to respond to the higher pitch tone. There are 40 higher pitch tones. They are at random, and it's their job to just click on the mouse every time they hear it. The test is 4 minutes, and all you're going to have them do is just be still, try not to move, their eyes will be closed, and you're ready to go. Okay, great. So at first glance, this looks like a great scan. One thing we encourage you to do is to go to the P300 waveforms, and this will allow you to actually check and make sure that you got a good scan. So all these red numbers show you how many rare tones were received at that site. There are 40 rare tones, so if you got 40 or anywhere close to 40, that means you got a good scan. This looks really good. And now what we'll do is we'll move on to the flanker test. This is a visual evoke response test. This also will generate a P300. And all they're going to do is they're going to respond to the series of arrows that they're going to see on the screen. The way that this is set up is you're going to see either a series of 5 arrows or a single arrow, and whichever way the arrow is pointing is the side of the mouse that they're going to click on. Now, when you see the series of 5 arrows, you're only focusing on the center arrow. Whichever direction the center arrow is pointing, you're going to respond to that on the mouse. There are 100 arrows that you'll see, and all they're going to do is sit and respond to them. So whenever they're ready, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and put your hand on the mouse. And we will start the test now. Okay, great. So now that we've completed the flanker test, we're going to move into the trail making A. Now you're going to have them use the touchscreen feature. And all they're going to do is they're going to tap their finger on the screen in order of the numbers. So as you can see, you're going to see 1 through 8 on your screen. This is a practice screen. And you can have your patient go through this and try out the test before we go into the real thing. So if you want to go ahead and practice real quick on the screen before we start. Perfect. So just like that, the real test is going to be 1 through 25. The test will start as soon as you press the number 1. So now we're going to move to trail making test B. This is going to be the same concept. Now we're going to incorporate letters into this. So now what they're going to do is they're going to go 1A, 2B, 3C, so on and so forth. We will start with another practice screen. If you're ready, you can go ahead and click start. Okay, perfect. So now we've completed the WAVi wellness test, and we'll move into the reports.